All right. This ain't just a show. This is a platform. Veteran built, battle tested. Welcome to the MisFitNation. Yeah! Mic in the room, built from boots on the ground, now we breaking the rules. 2 vets, 1 leader, painting the sound, turn scars into sermons, let them echo around. Authors with truth, musicians with fire, actors backstage chasing something higher. Entrepreneurs bleeding just to get ahead. If you fought for your dream, yeah, you are what you said. If they told you no, if you still came back, if you fell to your knees but you stayed on track, this is your voice, this is your flame. Say it loud, remember the name. No salvation, just elevation. We rise again. From the fight to the end. We are the Misfit Nation. No damn labels, no damn cages. If you're still breathing, you belong. Turn it up. This is our song. Yeah. This is our song. Yeah. Veterans standing with ghosts in the chest. First responders running in while the world second guess. Gold star names carved deep in the soul. Your story ain't over, we carry the whole. Coaches teaching mindset, breaking the chain, turning belly alive into owning the pain. Truth over polish, scars on display. If it's real, let it bleed. That's the misstep play. If it's heavy right now, and the dark feels cold. If it's heavy right now, and the dark feels cold. If it's heavy right now, and the dark feels cold. It's stop right now. We're the more than you know. 988, don't walk alone. Veterans press 1, bring it home. Don't trade forever for tonight. You're still needed in this fight. We are the Misfit Nation, built from scars and dedication. We rise again. From the fight to the end. We are the Misfit Nation. Every voice is fabrication. From the silence to the scream, we're strong. Welcome home, you belong. You belong. You belong. Oh wait, you. Oh wait, you belong.
Woo! All right. Welcome back to the Misfit Nation and your Sunday after dinner edition. We know you have other places you can be right now, but you choose to hang out with us, and we appreciate you for it. If you're on YouTube, don't forget that like button, that subscribe button, hit that bell so you know when we're coming on, when we're going live, when new things are happening. Help us grow, help us share these stories with the world. Tonight, we're joined by United States Navy veteran Diana Ocasio, a former Yeoman Petty Officer, 2nd class, and Command Career Counselor who spent part of her military career helping sailors navigate what came next. Today, she's still doing that work, just in a different uniform. She's the founder of Mission Driven Digital, a veteran-owned business systems and growth studio helping small businesses, nonprofits, veterans, and military spouses build their systems they need to grow without creating chaos behind the scenes. She's also the creator of Mission to Monetize, helping veterans and military spouses recognize the value of the skills they already have and turn those skills into income. And beyond business, Diana writes, After Uniform, Exploring Military Identity, Family Transition, and the question so many veterans eventually face. Who are you when the uniform is no longer part of your identity? Today, we're going to talk about rebuilding after service, translating those military skills into civilian successes, entrepreneurship, motherhood, identity, and why she believes one working system beats 5 half-built ones. So without further ado, let's welcome United States Navy veteran Diana Ocasio to the Misfit Nation. Welcome, Diana.
Hi, thank you for having me.
It's great to have you here. I just fumbled through your bio there a little bit, but we got it. We got it through there. Every day things happen bad, but that was not a bad hiccup, so it's good. It's great to have you here.
No, you did great.
was glad when we were emailing back and forth about getting Leah Stiles on the show that when I seen
Yeah.
that you were a Navy veteran at the bottom, and I just threw that little one line in there. Hey, why don't you come on the show? And he's like, yes. I was like, yes, it worked. So it's
Yeah. Yeah, Leah's great, and she's really been helping me come out of my shell a lot. I'm very introverted, so this was the first step.
You can't be introverted from New York. Come on. That's illegal.
Yeah. Surprisingly, a New Yorker, yes. I'm actually very introverted.
It's all right. We'll keep you here. But Diana, I gave basically the elevator pitch about you right there. Dig back into your box and share with a little more with the Misfit Nation, a little more about you from as far back as you want to go and to how we got to where we are today.
Yeah, so I joined the Navy in 2007. And basically at that time, it was a means to an end. I was a young mother. I was married at the time. And, you know, being young kids with a young kid, it gets hard. So, you know, my ex-husband was in the military first. He got out. We were struggling. So I decided it's my turn. And I spent about 9.5 years before I was medically discharged. And during my career, like you said, I helped other sailors with their career progressions as a career counselor.
That's a whirlwind for 9 years to learn your job thing. Like we talked in the green room. I'll let you share the story of the North you were on, but then also to help others. So you learned the ropes a little, and then you were able to help others along the way. And that's a great feeling to know that you were able to give back and do that.
Yeah, and I've always been that kind of person. I have typical eldest daughter syndrome, so I'm always the one that's helping other people. And it just kind of made sense while I was in the military. I just liked to be the one to guide. I moved up in the ranks pretty quickly. I made E5 within the first 2 years in being in the Navy. So I just always had that mentality of, you know, when you're climbing the mountain, reach back for the next person. And
tell you to have.
Yeah, and when I got out of the military, you know, it wasn't exactly expected. I was medically discharged after developing some disabilities. And so, you know, I was planning on doing 20 years, retiring the whole bit. But unfortunately, life gets in the way, things happen, and you kind of just have to roll with it. But I got out in December of 2016, and to be honest, it was a lot of feeling lost for the last 10 years. And I'm only feeling like I just now am finding who I am, what I do, and how I can give.
Now, you're obviously doing a lot as you came out. You have 2 businesses, plus you're writing and still mentoring others along the way. So where do you find time for Diana time?
I just make it. I feel that if something is important to you enough, then you're going to find that time. So even in, you know, like my small, you know, in between parenting, I also help a friend by taking care of her 1-year-old during the day. I will find a way to get everything done and have everything moving, you know, nice and smoothly. Just the military way, I guess.
It kind of gets driven into your head to have those checklists or mental checklists during the day. And
yeah, I'm very used to multitasking and having a lot of things going on at the same time. So I think, you know, having all of these things, it's more of a way to keep me calm.
Definitely. People always ask me the same exact question I just asked you. Where do you find time for you? And I think just after 22 years in the Army, I just have to keep moving. I got to keep doing stuff, do something all day long, or I'll probably shut down if I don't do stuff. So I just keep doing things and multitasking, doing 3 things at one time. Sometimes I forget which 3 things I'm doing, but I'm doing them. And I'm sure you're going to start getting me too.
And this is something that I enjoy. So it's not like it's really work for me. So it's you know, you talk about the whole, you know, where do I find time for myself? Well, this is kind of something that makes me happy. So I'm going to do what makes me happy. I notice that, you know, when I'm stagnant or when I'm bored or, you know, things are just a little too quiet, that's when, you know, you have the racing thoughts and everything. And so for me, being busy just is like another extension of it's me. It's my whole entire personality.
Definitely is. And you still have you have young ones at home still, and so you're taking care of them, taking care of the 1-year-old, your neighbor, and still running two businesses and writing, and still finding a way to mentor other people and help them. That's just something you don't see often. People that try to get so many people in the right positions to be successful and have those systems. So you're obviously using the systems that you're preaching, and they work.
Right.
And
Yeah,
does that help you when you're
exactly.
talking to others?
Well, so, you know, with the military, we're just so used to structure and organized, you know, organized chaos. And when I got out of the military, it was kind of hard trying to find that in other jobs. I would just it would upset me because I would see something and it's like, oh, like really, like one of your pet peeves that why are you not using some kind of system, you know? And so I just kind of built my own. I knew that I wanted to do these different things. And I was like, okay, in order to successfully manage all of it, I know I have to have a system or some kind of structure in place. And so that's what I did. I built it. I learned new tech skills and I applied what I learned so that I can recreate that structure that I had in the military.
But now it's a little less chaos, a little more organized now.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you can control it now. You control a lot more of what happens to you and to
Right.
your daily flow. And do you think your time in the Navy plus the portion of your career when you were a career command career counselor, did you think that helped you in developing the skills to where you are today, to how you help in help?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. The job that I had specifically, it was all about organization. We had to maintain records, which is huge. You know, we were in charge of personnel records, regular military command records. So, you know, having that structure and that organized, you know, organization skills, it's really helped me on this side of the fence.
Yeah, definitely. Explain to the audience what a yeoman actually does.
So the best way I can describe it is a yeoman is a cross between an executive assistant, an HR manager, and an office manager. So we pretty much do a little bit of everything, a lot of administrative work. We're the backbone for our commanding officers, executive officers. We help with different personnel issues, not too much on the pay side, but sometimes we do have to dabble in it a little bit. And it's a lot of records maintenance and management.
Yeah. So basically, you're the HR of the Navy.
Yeah.
And without being the evil person that people see in the movie as the HR person, but or I'm sure in service HR people are sometimes seen as evil too. I'll take that back a little bit. I know on the Army side.
I mean, you do have the few that are a little, for a lack of a better word, not very leadership oriented.
There you go. That's nice. I like the political correctness there. I like that. So you hit a little bit on your transition and how it was a rocky road. I know for most of us, it's a weird feeling when you stop doing that thing that you loved, and now the next day you have to figure out what to do with your hands. How was your transition? How has that shaped you now?
My transition was a bit of a nightmare. I transitioned in December of 2016. At the same time, my husband of 12 years decided that would be the perfect time to start a divorce. So I literally found myself overnight as a single mother and a jobless veteran.
Wow. It's a bad way to start.
So it was, mental health definitely took a huge hit at the time. But fortunately and unfortunately, at that time, you know, I had 3 kids that depended on me. I was everything for them. So I didn't have time to wallow in my self-pity. I had to, figure out, what do I do next? I was maybe, I think, one class away from finishing my bachelor's. So I was still going to school at the same time as well. So there was just a lot going on, and I just had to kind of kick into gear and figure it out. I didn't have anybody giving me a roadmap or telling me what to do or how I can use these skills. Tap class, to be honest, I feel tap class was very generic, especially, given this was just 10 years, back then. It's still the same curriculum they're using. I've had people separating recently, and they said that nothing has changed with tap class. And it's like, in our technological age, how could you not improve this program somehow? And so I don't think I was adequately prepared for the civilian life. And unfortunately, I did a lot of hopping, a lot of basically just struggling to survive, especially with 3 kids. So it was a lot of stress. I've just been in straight survival mode for the last 10 years, or that's what it kind of seems like.
I got out a year before you in 2015, and I seen, by working where I do now, I seen that there are things that they've tried to change. But I think, like you said, the curriculum's still the same, but there's options now. In the Army side,
Yeah.
especially, they do the career skills program where they get to do like an internship for the last 120 days, but are able to
Yeah.
go out and find the thing that's going to be what they want to do in life after, and get at least a taste of what the civilian world is like. And sometimes those turn into jobs. So that's one major advantage now that they have over when I got out in 2015, where it was, see you later, have a good time. And same for you in 16.
Yeah, I've heard about, the Skill Bridge program, and I've been looking into it, to see exactly what it was, because it wasn't something that was offered to me when I got out. So I definitely see that there are more programs coming about, slowly but surely, but we definitely need to kind of pick it up a little bit.
We're definitely good on the slowly side. Not the
Yeah.
they don't want to move too fast, because if they move too fast, then the person that has that original contract has to change, and that's
Mhm.
where the hardness comes in. And the change management is hard at that level. We're
Yeah.
losing the contract, and that hurts people's feelings. So they have to think about other avenues, I guess, to make things work better. See, I was being politically correct that time.
Yeah, and that was kind of the goal behind, the program that I built. It was a way to, show that, specifically female veterans, that there are other options. And, we have programs or, links like ONET that help us kind of translate our skills to civilian terminology, but there's no real, I guess, really putting it into play. And so I wanted to take this and, basically say, these are your skills and this is how you can use them. You don't have to rely on going to get a job at Amazon, or you don't have to rely on, all of these other employers that just, collect resumes and call you when they feel like calling you. You can take these skills that you already have, use it to your advantage.
Definitely, you hit the nail on the head with the resume thing. A lot of people will say that they're hiring, or they'll send you the Indeed link or the LinkedIn
Right.
hiring jobs, and they're not really. I mean, they're, like you said, collecting data. They're collecting data to say,
Right.
"Hey, if we get this proposal put in or this contract that is approved, we have this backlog of people who want to work or are going to work for us," and that helps them get the work.
Exactly.
But they might never call you back. It may be years before you get a call back, and that's not helping any of our brothers and sisters as they come out.
Right. Because we don't wait. We still have responsibilities. We still have families to take care of. We can't just sit here and twiddling our thumbs waiting for you to make a decision. Another thing that I kind of hate about the civilian, job hunting area is that they make you go through so many different interviews, and then just to tell you, you know what, we're going to go a different way. It's like, why? Why are we doing 3, 4, 5 interviews?
And a lot of times they're hiring someone within already. They already know the person that they're hiring. They do that in order to get credit for, say, we tried to hire a veteran. We brought a veteran in and had an interview with X amount of veterans, even though we didn't hire one of them, but we gave them a chance. So we get this funding.
Exactly.
And it just,
exactly. And unfortunately, a former employer of mine, also, there are some incentives too. If you show that you are actively hiring during the pandemic, in order to get, I think it was some kind of funding through COVID or because of COVID, he had it up hiring, but he would make sure I knew, like, yeah, you can interview them, but just, we're not really hiring right now. He was just basically promoting it so that he can get that funding.
Wow. And just basically putting it right out there in front of you. And then you have to
exactly.
be the one that has to
wasting time. And I hate wasting time.
It hurts. Yeah, it hurts a lot.
It does. It can definitely affect somebody's mental health, especially a veteran who is still struggling, trying to find themselves post-military. For example, in my case, when I would go on these interviews, a lot of what I heard was, your military experience doesn't count for the real world. Even though I have, all of these, office experience, admin experience, HR experience, because it wasn't in a corporate setting, it doesn't count. And so that can be very discouraging. It can really affect your mental health. You're already going through all of these changes and all of these transitions. And for somebody to tell you you're not good enough, it can really hit you, in the gut.
Yeah. It's demeaning to us when you go in there
Yes.
and tell them you don't have real experience. Well,
Yes.
What experience do you have? If you turn it around on them, what experience do you really have? I went to this
Yes.
college, did this, and I fell into this job because my daddy knew somebody. So that's experience. Okay, thank you. And that shows us how you feel. I drove from Tennessee to Washington, D.C. to apply to interview for their Homeland Security Emergency Management Department a job there. I got through the interview, and the guy looked at my college. It was Ashford University at the time. Now it's like University of Arizona Global Campus or something. But he said, "Oh, you went to Ashford, huh?" So right there, I knew I didn't have the job. Just by the way he said that, and I drove away thinking, how many other people does this happen to? That's the college we could get to while we're in service. We can do that
Right.
because it's convenient for us, and we get that diploma, but it's not worth. We're not worthy now because it's not the college they want.
Right. Exactly. If it's not something, Ivy League or, something that's people know of, it's just not good enough. And to be honest, I'm tired of being told I'm not good enough.
So that's when you got that fire underneath you, and now you are more than good enough with all the things you're doing. And tell me a little bit about each avenue of your businesses, I guess. Each part of them.
Sure. So I started Mission Driven Digital because I was taking myself as a freelancer to a full-fledged business. And I was noticing, like, the way me and Leah connected. She basically needed a yeoman. She was like, oh my God, I really need a yeoman, somebody who can organize my life. And that's what I do for her. I basically handle everything on the back end so that she can be the face of her brand. She can, focus on her speaking engagements and her book sales and all that kind of stuff, and really being the face, while I take care of everything in the background. Because she was trying to do both at the same time, and it wasn't really working for her. And so I kind of felt like that's what I'm good at. I'm good at managing other people. And I think that's also comes from being a mother too. Just, we're constantly managing other people. So I've always excelled in that area. And I have 2 clients right now, Leah and another. And that's basically what I do. I manage all of their back end stuff so that they can focus on the front end. And I take away the tedious admin things, because that actually is heaven to me as a yeoman. That's all I ever did was admin things. So those little tedious admin tasks that everybody kind of hates, I enjoy to do. And so that's how I just kind of started building my own framework of just getting you on track and organized so that you can focus on your mission for your business, and I'll handle all of the back end stuff.
That helps a lot of people that would help out. You said you have two clients now, Leah and one other, and right now I'm sure they breathe a lot easier that you're able to handle all the noise. You take all the noise and they're able to concentrate on the mission and move forward. And like for Leah, speaking, podcast engagements, book tours and such like that, while you're in the background making sure everything goes smoothly.
Right. I keep her on track. I manage her calendar. I'm setting up appointments so that she doesn't have to be bombarded with such, small tasks, and she can focus on the big things.
Definitely. And I'm sure that I know she appreciates it. Others,
she tells me a lot.
She was awesome on the show, and that's how me and you side met. So
yeah, she's a great human being. I love her.
She a lot of energy, and she has a lot of stuff, a lot of information to handle and give to others so they can be successful in life as well. And
and we're focusing on trying to get stories for her, and really I personally shared my own story with eating disorders that I didn't even know that, my eating habits fell under that. So that's kind of what I've been working on in the background, is trying to get other veterans to share their stories so that we can further her mission more, because I think it's a very important message.
Yeah, there's a lot of bad habits that you pick up in the military. A lot of people have eating disorders, and alcohol is another one because it's easy. It's the easy button on every base. Every base has the class 6 or whatever it's called on every base, but the class 6, it's your recreation. You walk in there, you know what you go into, and you go to the right spot every time.
Exactly.
It takes a lot of time to break that habit. Some people never do, but you have to figure it out. It's at that point when you understand that, hey, maybe I need to ring the bell and try something different.
Right.
Then you also writing too, right?
Yeah, I've been kind of just sharing my story. When I started sharing my transition story on TikTok, I noticed that a lot of women were starting to comment that they felt a lot of the same things. They experienced a lot of the same things in their transitions. And I didn't realize that, number one, female veterans are such an underserved group. I just knew from my experience, with the VA or finding resources and stuff like that. What I have as my advantage is that being a yeoman, we rely a lot on research. So I knew how to do research and how to find the answers that I'm looking for, but not everybody's like that. And so when I started sharing more, a lot of women were coming out and being like, oh my God, me too. This is my story too. This is exactly what happened to me. This is how I feel. And so I just started thinking, like, I need to share this story, because obviously there's a gap here that we're kind of like the redheaded stepchildren of the military. We only account for about 10% of the veteran community. And so we do kind of get overlooked. And like I said, I was tired of being overlooked. And I know if I'm tired, then other females are probably feeling the same exact way.
Definitely. And you're seeing, I think, probably from 2017-ish on, you started to see a movement to have more women's veteran groups or women veteran meetups. And sometimes groups within a large organization were separated for just females only, female leadership programs and such. And I think that's the reason why, because there was such a huge gap where everything was aimed at one demographic. And because no one really knew. They didn't know how to, I think, is the problem. It was I don't know what to do with this other demographic because we never had them before, or they never stepped up before to say they needed help. And now all of a sudden they also are here and they need that extra boost and that professional development, that help to get forward in life. And now you see a lot more of it.
Yeah. And that's kind of where I went with my program, because if you really think about it, the military itself as a whole is not female friendly at all, whether you're in uniform or even a spouse, it's not female friendly. And so when I created my program, I kind of mostly had female veterans in mind, but I also was considering military spouses, because they're constantly having to pick up and move, start all over again, start and stop jobs. And so I wanted them to have something too, where they can build something that moves with them. They don't have to stop it and restart somewhere else. It's something that they can pick up, take wherever they are around the world. And that is a way that that we can support them, because nobody really does support the military spouse.
Usually the forgotten hero. So, and it takes a lot to be a military spouse. And I learned after that I wrote a couple things for her, and my wife got an award, the order to Carol A. Watson Spouse Award for the Chemical Corps. She received that, but that's just a little token. And based on 22 years of suffering through the same stuff I suffered through, but alone, she didn't have a team or a squad or a platoon with her to ride with. She had my young daughter, who I was missing everything with. And you kind of, when you're battle focused or mission focused, you forget that, and you kind of leave them behind. And I know I wasn't the only one who did it. It took me until right after I retired to understand how bad it was, how bad I did it, and try to on this end.
Yeah, my children, they did suffer a lot. The reason why I decided to stay in one area, even though I've had that itch to move again, I think that's just something that's in us. But I decided to stay here until they all finished high school, because they expressed that they were tired of moving around. And even after my divorce and after my transition, I started here in Lakeland, then I went to Orlando, then I came back to Lakeland, then I'm itching again, like I want to leave. And they're like, no, please, for the love of God, we don't want to move again. Especially in these years where they're finding their own way, their own path as, young adults.
And they're at that age, one's like a senior, one's probably a freshman in high school, or getting close to freshman in high school. So they don't want to lose those friends that they've made.
Exactly.
And try to regroup and do it again in another school. And then that's when the bullying issue starts with, especially when you change schools and you're the new kid on the block.
Yeah, exactly. And I didn't want to put that through them or put them through that. So I'm just kind of toughing it out. The youngest graduates in 5 years, and then I can move, do whatever I want.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You say that now, believe me, it's going to change.
Yeah. Now, as a new grandmother, I'm finding it difficult, but like I was saying, her boyfriend is going to be joining the military, so they might be moving, leaving. And I've been thinking about, like, it finally dawned on me this morning. I'm like, holy crap, they're going to be, I'm going to lose them, And so now I'm kind of trying to keep myself from being the grandmother that just follows her daughter around the country.
Get you a little Astro van, one of those camper vans. Park in the driveway. I'm here. I'm not leaving. And you can work right out of the van, the Sprinter van. That's what it's
exactly. I built something that goes anywhere I go.
Your friend Zuli got on here and said they're proud of you.
Thank you.
And then we got a question from the audience while that came in as well. So this one is from Retrograde Merc. Diana, how do I figure out which of my military skills people would actually pay me for? Great question. Actually,
I built a digital MOS quiz, and basically it'll tell you like which one of your skills would be a fit for whatever different income stream. And so it kind of gives you an idea of what you can do, actually several different ideas. And in my program, I have it based on 3 tracks, and it's a service-based track, a product or digital product track, and then affiliate or for example, content creation track. And so it kind of just goes over what these skills are and how you can use them in the digital space.
Nice. And that's on your Mission Digital website?
Yes.
Mission Driven.
Yeah, under the resources tab, it'll give a little button to go to the Mission to Monetize program.
Oh, yes, yes. There's a lot of buttons there. Yeah, yes. You can find it on the website. We'll show it at the end of the show, but yes, it's on there. We got another one popped up too. I didn't copy it yet, but here it is. This one is from Lynn Duval. Let's see if I get it so you can see it. And that way, if I mess up reading it, you understand it. There we go. This is from Lena Duva, 65. What would you recommend to a veteran who wants to start a business but feels overwhelmed by all the technology platforms and systems involved? Thank you.
Yeah, that was something I actually felt as well. Just knowing that we are in a very digital heavy age. I knew, fun fact, I was supposed to be an IT man when I joined the Navy, and I ended up changing my rate. But it's not scary. Once you actually ask questions, find other people who are knowledgeable in these programs, and just take it piece by piece. It's actually not as scary as we think it is. People hear the word technology and immediately think of like coding and like these insane amounts of code, and it actually is not. There are ways to take it and not be so tech heavy as a novice. So yeah, it's just asking the questions, picking other people's brains. There are so many people out there that are willing to share their knowledge, and you just have to have the courage to actually ask. And that's exactly what I did. I asked questions. I am notorious for asking 1,000,001 questions. Just ask my mother.
Nice. A lot of things that people are afraid of with technology, you can, if you go on a quick Google search, there'll be a YouTube video on how to fix that problem and how to tackle that technology fear, because there's someone else who had that same fear and said, you know what, I'm going to share what I went through and fix it for you.
Exactly. And I learned a lot of things through YouTube. And, you know, what I wanted to say was you don't have to learn everything, you know. Figure out what you're good at, figure out what you want to do with those skills, and then find the technology specific for that. You don't have to learn everything. You don't have to know TikTok or social media or, you know, CRMs or anything like that, unless it has something to do with what you want to pursue.
Right. And there's going to be someone at the job, even if you're just baseline know it. There's going to be someone there that can help you.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
build you up, because they need you to do the work so they don't have to, and they'll be more happy to help you. And you'll see.
And
I
think we live in an age where we're just so overloaded with information that we just get so overwhelmed and, you know, want to just throw in the towel and say, forget this. So you kind of have to weed out what doesn't apply to you. That's basically what I had to do. I was watching people learn something new, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. I want to learn that too. But then, you know, like, does it matter? Like, is it for me? Is it going to benefit me? Do I really need to learn this? You know, sure, it looks cool, but do I really need that? And that's kind of how I had to stop myself from just overloading myself with a lot of information.
You're definitely right. You can have information overload in a heartbeat in the day and age we're in right now, because there's so much coming at you. And depending on how you look at the screens, if you're looking at screens all day, you're going to have so many different viewpoints coming at you, unless you just look at one window. But you have so many different things coming at you about the same subject that you might just pull your hair out if you have any left.
Exactly.
They just scream because you don't know what to do with anything.
Yeah. It's too much, and I feel like a lot of it makes people anxious. It makes them nervous, and it's like you have to figure out a way to just cut the noise and just focus on what is going to benefit you.
You go back to the other thing we learned in the military, compartmentalizing things.
Exactly.
You have to figure out which tab you have to close right now, Which tab would be
Exactly. Prioritize. We used to get a whole laundry list of things we had to do that day, and we had to prioritize what was needed to get done right this second and what could wait till the end of the day.
What didn't matter?
Right.
What was just busy work at the time?
Exactly.
We skirted on earlier, and I want you to bring up your inaugural cruise on the big boat. Tell us a little bit about that trip, and as much as you can tell us about it.
Well, it was an experience. It was something new for me. I've never really left the country other than, a couple times with my parents, really small. So I didn't really remember those times. And so this was a new experience for me. And being able to see other cultures, other ways of life. I am a huge history buff. So just being able to see all of these other places and feel all of these historical, areas, it was really kind of addicting. And that's kind of why I'm waiting for them to graduate so that I can go and kind of explore more. But we started in England and we went to the Gulf for a while. We were there in 2011. So from May to December 2011, we were out there. And to be honest, it was a bit of the reason why I have social anxiety now. Just being stuck on a floating city and you can't go anywhere. I think people take for granted being able to leave their workplace and go home at the end of the day. When you're on a ship in the middle of the ocean, you can't do that. So if you just want to decompress, there's really nothing you can do, other than maybe go to your rack or walk around the hangar bay, so it kind of starts to feel very much like a prison. You can't do anything, you can't go anywhere. And so, this thing with the Abraham Lincoln, I feel that because after 30 days, I'm already, just itching to get away from these people, So having 250 days of seeing the same people over and over again, it's enough to make anybody go a little crazy.
Cabin fever. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is.
And if you and in the female birthing, how many females are in each birthing area?
We can fit about, I think mine had about 50 to 75 women. Yeah, so it was quite a lot. And there was only, if you think about it, 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 bathroom stalls and only 3 showers. So you had to time it just right.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's another dance you got to learn on the ship. So, when's the best time for me to shower and not have to wait in line forever?
Exactly. So it was pretty, it was annoying, but we got through it, and the deployment was not too bad. We did have some issues with our plumbing systems, so we would go a couple of days without being able to use the restrooms, unfortunately. And the food was not the greatest, but we survived and we got through it.
Sure, the port calls made up for the food, hopefully.
Yeah, it did. That was another thing, just getting to experience new foods and cuisines and everything. That was something I didn't really get here in the States much. You always have like the Americanized version of something. So it wasn't like real Italian food or real Lebanese or Middle Eastern.
Yes, everything here has to go through processing and such like that. Over there, it's usually farm to table. And
yeah, exactly.
Onto the plate, and it's delicious.
Yeah, actually, a lot of the ingredients we use here in the States are banned in other countries.
Yes, Skittles are banned in other countries.
Yeah,
that's everyone's comfort food. So, we got another one from the audience here. This is from May I Please Too. How do you know when you need another tool or system versus when you just need to actually use the one you already have?
That's a good question. With all these new technologies coming out, it's like a shiny new toy. So you kind of just have to not pay attention to the novelty of it and actually do the research. See how it's going to benefit you, if it's going to benefit you. See what their features are and how these features can make your business better or not. And I think we get so caught up in, like I said, this shiny new toy that's coming out that we want to, jump on it. And it's like, no, you kind of have to see, why reinvent the wheel? Why are we going to, have to start over and, do something new when what we're already using is enough to suffice for what we need?
And that's what you see when the new phones come out every year or so from Samsung
Oh,
and
yeah.
Apple. And there's people that have to buy that new one just because it's new.
I have my old LPO from Japan. She was like, she had a special fund for iPhones so that when the next one rolled out, she had an allotment going to this special bank account, and that was specifically her Apple iPhone bank account.
Oh my gosh. See, there's people. Yeah. If you're listening and you're one of them, you have friends. So me, I usually keep mine until it just stops doing anything correctly.
Exactly. It's still kicking. It's still going. Actually, my aunt only recently, in the last year or two, upgraded her phone from her 2008 Android. So
Wow.
she's like, it was still working. Why are we going to get rid of it?
And some people just use it for the phone feature.
Yeah.
They don't do all the other things, so they don't realize that it's not really doing half of what it can do, or it's not really functioning as well as it could, because all they do is talk to people on it. So
Yeah,
they don't missing
exactly.
anything. So, but
Yeah,
Apple,
as long as you can get, texting and get on Facebook, she's fine.
that's it. It's easy. That's the easy button. So you don't have to upload anything. It's good. But once you start doing other things and make your phone your whole database, your whole computer, your whole
Yeah.
workspace, it's hard to stay with that old one and not move forward, because there's going to be some new widget on there that helps you out a lot more.
Right.
Maybe.
I'm a digital hoarder. I actually, my boyfriend gets mad at me sometimes because I'll have like 20 tabs open and I have like a whole bunch of files on my computer, and he's an IT guy and he just looks at it and it just gives him so much anxiety. And I'm like, you never know. I might need this in like 3 years or something.
He starts shaking as he walks in the room.
Exactly.
It's
He
me again.
hates looking at my computer.
That's outstanding. All right, and another one came in for you here. No one is you. Did you ever struggle with feeling like your civilian accomplishments weren't as meaningful as what you did while serving? If so, how did you work through that?
That's a good question. I feel like I never really had that problem, because I always look for opportunities to give back. I'm just that kind of person. So even when I'm out of the uniform, on my days off when I was still on active duty, but after work, I was down at the homeless shelter, helping out there and stuff. So I'm that type of person that's always looking for ways to help somebody, whether I was in uniform or not. And I also feel like people just kind of gravitate towards me because I just have that kind of spirit. And so it's just always really been easy for me to kind of find that purpose of being able to give back. I kind of put myself in other people's shoes, and I'm a very big picture person. So when I see somebody who looks like they're struggling, I just immediately feel the need to go up to them and ask them if they're okay, or just talk about it, because we all will be there at some point in our lives if we haven't already. And so I just want to be a person that somebody can come to the way I would want if I was in that position.
That's a great way to live, and because we're all one bad decision, one mistake away from being in that same situation. It
Exactly.
doesn't take much to change your trajectory. So be good to those who you think are beneath you, because someday they're going to be right next to you.
Yeah, I'm a huge believer in karma, and it's for me. It doesn't make sense to be mean spirited to people, because what are you going to accomplish by doing that?
Exactly. What does that make you? Nothing. It
Yeah,
doesn't help you. It might make them upset that day, but they're still going to keep living their life, and they'll know that you were mean to them that one time, and they're not going to be in your life anymore. So just keep moving forward.
exactly.
Hopefully, they keep moving forward. Yeah. Yeah, we'll take one more question from the audience before you go into the trouble round here. So here we go. Limits are guides. Okay. If you had to start mission driven digital all over again with no audience, no clients, and limited money, what are the first three things you would do? That's a good
That's
question.
a pretty good question, but that's pretty much where I started with this. I started from nothing. I had one client at the time, and that was basically somebody that I found as a freelancer. And then it was friends basically just telling me, like, not really necessarily telling me what to do, but they would say something and then I would get an idea, like an idea would just pop in my head. And then I would kind of just, I always carry a notebook with me because I'm always writing down different ideas that come up. And I think that's a pretty great way to start, is just listening to the people around you. You will find problems that need to be solved, and I'm a very observant person. I listen a lot. So I will hear these things that people are saying, like, okay, this is, my problem. And, even if they're just venting and just saying, trying to get it off their chest, um, I start noticing these patterns of ways I can, help this person, or ways I can kind of improve this person's life or business because they're feeling very overwhelmed. And so that's basically where a lot of my ideas and where a lot of this business came from, is just me listening to other people and hearing their stories and hearing their struggles, and then thinking about, well, what can I do to help them?
Definitely. And you can see that you have that servant heart, the servant leadership is in your heart, and that you keep pushing that forward. And that's amazing to have that and still be able to do it now, even after serving and now building your empire. And you still, your first thought is to help others. That's a
Yeah.
great way and a great way to lead, because that is a leadership trait. So
It is, and I was blessed enough to have really great leaders when I was in the military. I know that there are some people out there that weren't as fortunate. Me, I just happened to gravitate to the right people. I had a mess chief one time. I worked with him a lot as the Air Department career counselor. And there was something that he used to tell all of his sailors that really stuck with me. And that's something I live by, is always keep adding tools to your toolbox. And so I feel like a permanent student, because I'm always looking to learn something new, learn a new skill, learn a new trade, anything, because I want to make myself so versatile that I can literally help anybody.
yeah, and I think that's what you're doing right now. And you also basically reach back and help others as they're doing that
Right.
transition piece, because you learned your lesson through that, and you've seen that the lessons haven't transpired into the service to make things better. So you find those ways to help them, and
Right.
that's all. If you had a chance right now and you were able to go and speak at say the TAPS class, what's advice you would give to those veterans that are coming out now, those soon to be veterans? What would be the best piece of advice you'd give them?
I would say keep an open mind. In my opinion, the tap class felt more of it felt more like they were just trying to put out more workhorses for corporate America. And I want them to understand that there are so many different opportunities. There are, grants, business loans, everything. There's so many things that are out there for veterans that we do not take advantage of at all. And I want them to have that open mind and realize that you can do something for yourself. You can build something that works on your terms for your specific lifestyle.
Outstanding. Outstanding. All right. Now, as we start to wind down, we'll hit the 2 softball questions here. What's the best way to get in contact with Diana if anyone in the MisFit Nation wants to pick your brain or get your services?
Well, you can go to my website, which is missiondrivendigital.org, or you can email me at info@missiondrivendigital.org. And I'm pretty much on my phone all the time, so I will see it and respond pretty quickly.
I had it open. I can't find it now. There it is. All right, there it is. Here's the tool system. There's the home page. So showing it there. And up here is where you're talking about the resource hub.
Yep, there's quite a few different resources that I have on there. There are templates. I, have built some templates for people who want to start their own thing. There's a link to Mission to Monetize. I've even made a couple of ChatGPT bots.
Nice.
Yeah.
Look at you. Is that the Mission headquarters bot here? Is that what this is?
Yeah.
Oh, nice, nice. And some of these are courses that they take with you?
Yes.
Okay.
The Mission to Monetize. I have about several different modules in there, and it covers, how to be a virtual assistant or how to be a web designer, going into a deep dive on branding and, trying or learning how to be a freelancer, using your skills to freelance.
You got a whole book on ChatGPT here.
Yes. Yep, some prompts to get you started and everything.
Command center, I like it. That's outstanding. And that the contact me on there is the best way to get you here.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so you get a little Calendly on there. Everything's easy. Easy buttons. Very good. Very good. All right. That was outstanding. Great website. Great chat with you tonight. Now, this is the hard question for you. What's 3 things the MisFit Nation, the audience, can start doing tomorrow to be better people?
Listening. Definitely number 1 is just listening to each other. I feel like we have so much noise going around. And if we just stopped to listen to each other and really gave each other some of that respect and just be there for each other and support, I think we could definitely make our world a little better. That's another thing, support. So listening, supporting each other. Leah has a slogan that I just love because it really can be for any kind of situation. She says, need a light, be a light. And that's what I want to do, is be a light for somebody else, especially when, I had these issues myself. I had to figure it out all on my own. And I don't want somebody else to have to reinvent the wheel if I've already invented it, And so, listening to each other, supporting each other, and just being kinder to each other. I'm just so bombarded with all the hate in the world. Yes. And it's like so many of these problems can be solved if we were just a little kinder to each other.
Yes, be kind. It's not just something you do with the old VHS tapes. That's just the one. You can be kind to each other.
Yeah.
Make the world a little better for everyone out there. Diana,
right.
Thank you so much for sharing your journey with us tonight and sharing what you're doing now with your businesses and how to find you, of course. If you ever have anyone else that wants to come on, that should be on the show, send them our way. If you ever want to come back, let me know.
Of course. Thank you so much for this opportunity and having me.
No problem. Thanks for saying yes when I poked you on the email. That was good. MisFit Nation, I hope you gained some knowledge tonight, and I hope you visit the Mission Digital Monetize. I'm messing up every time.
Mission to Monetize is the program.
Yeah, Mission Driven Digital website. There it is. make sure you visit that and show some love to Diana, and maybe pick her brain like we did tonight. If you didn't want to ask questions here, maybe you can contact her and ask her questions on there. And remember, if you guys are feeling the darkness, if those walls are caving in, you think the world's on your shoulders, you can't take it no more, just stop. Take a deep breath. Don't make a permanent solution to a temporary problem. Tomorrow will be 100% better with you in it than it will without it. Everyone in your circle will miss you. Don't think they won't. Don't think they're having a burden because you're there. They want that burden. They want you there. They'd rather have a burden than not have you at all. So reach in your wallet, dial those 3 numbers we tell you to write down. If they don't answer, dial 988. Take option 1 if you're a veteran. If you're not a veteran, follow the prompts. And if worse comes to worse, contact us right here at the Misfit Nation. info@themisfitnation.com, jake@themisfitnation.com, or steven@themisfitnation.com. And we will keep you on the line until someone local can get you the help you need, and you're here with us for the next how many years we got you. Until next time, be humble, stay hungry, and keep hustling.
Thanks for checking us out and being a part of the Misfit Nation show. Don't forget to visit our website at themisfitnation.com. That's themisfitnation.com. Check out all our past episodes and get some of the great Misfit Nation gear for you and your family. As always, be humble, stay hungry, and keep hustling, because we are
Misfit Nation. Misfit Nation.